It's been a couple days since the Fate 20th anniversary showcase at LA, and I don't know why, but I just wanted to sit here and share my experience with you guys as far as, was the event fun? Was it worth the travel? Was it worth the stress of like not sleeping the night before because of how nervous I was? Did it meet my expectations as a Fate fan? Were the panels interesting? And of course, what are my thoughts on the Fate Strange Fake world premiere? And for those of you guys who don't know, the Fate 20th anniversary showcase, as the name implies, was to celebrate the Fate series as a whole. Is about 20 years old at this point, which is crazy to think about because 20 years ago I was what, 6 years old? I don't know about you guys, but I was like sitting there maybe playing with my Legos, my Bionicle. I had no idea what a Fate was. I don't think I was even really watching any anime at the time. I think mainly like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z, but that's pretty much my only exposure at the time. I had no idea what the hell Fate was. And now 20 years later, I'm proud to say that I'm a really big Fate fan, a really big Type Moon fan. At least I would like to think I am. So besides leaving a like, because of course you guys will leave a like, why not? I also want you guys to comment below what made you start Fate. I'm pretty sure I've asked this in the past before, but what better time to ask it again to celebrate the Fate 20th anniversary? Did you guys start with the VN? Were you an OG 20 years ago? Or were you a much more recent fan? Maybe you got into one of the more recent anime, or maybe you started with the Dean anime. I don't know. Maybe you started with Grand Order, which a lot of people would roast you for. But hey, man, listen, if you're a new fan, I welcome you nonetheless. I know some people wouldn't, and they would probably look down on you and spit at your face. I just want you to know that you're welcome on this channel. You're welcome in my small Fate community, I guess. We don't judge over here unless you're like a Gilgamesh hater, then I'm gonna judge you really hard. But besides the point, comment down below. Let me know what made you start Fate and what made you stick around as a Fate fan. See, I started Fate about 10 years ago, which was around also the same time when I first started getting into like anime outside of like childhood anime. Like I said earlier, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, Digimon, I guess, Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, you know, those shows that were like in Adult Swim and Cartoon Network and whatnot, you know, those were my childhood. But you know, at the time when you're a kid, you don't really know the difference. At least for me, and for what I've seen, a lot of people don't really know the difference at that time, at that age, between a cartoon and anime. Everything was just a cartoon to me. But as I grew older and there was like a clear distinction that I was able to tell, I started getting into more anime about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And then Unlimited Blade Works was coming out, and a lot of people seemed really hype about it. Again, I've never heard of Unlimited Blade Works, never heard of Fate at the time. All I saw is that there was a lot of hype surrounding Unlimited Blade Works, and a lot of people were like, oh my god, a new Fate anime finally. And I'm just like, okay, never heard of it before, but I want to see what the hype is all about. So like a lot of modern fans, and this is gonna make a lot of people cringe, I decided to go watch Fate Zero. And as you might imagine, when I watched the first episode, because again, technically you're not supposed to be watching Fate Zero as your entry level into Fate. A lot of people did, like myself, and I'm sure a lot of people watching probably started off with some random Fate. I know some people started with Carnival Phantasm, for example, which definitely, even though you might find the scenes funny, you don't understand like 95% of the references probably. And that was definitely the case with Fate Zero's first episode. If you guys have seen that episode recently, it doesn't really age well as far as like if you're a new Fate fan or you're trying to get into the Fate series like I was 10 years ago, you're not gonna understand any damn thing. Like, you're gonna be like, okay, they're fighting for a holy grail, apparently it grants wishes, and who's this character? What are they talking about? What are they talking about with magic, magecraft? Wait, what's the difference? Wait, what? Heaven's Feel? What is that? Like, you know, there's so many things, so many jargon, so many words that they throw at you that you're just like, why is this important? I don't get it. When I read the premise, I thought it was just about this holy grail and then 7, you know, mages, and then 7 I guess servants that they summon, and then that's kind of it. It's like a battle royale thing, which it is in a very broad, generalized description. But obviously, as you get more into Fate and you get more into Type Moon, there's a lot more working parts to it. And long story short, I dropped the anime. I dropped Fate Zero after the first episode. I had no idea what was going on. My brother had no idea what was going on. We were both watching it like, what? You know, looking back at it, of course, obviously, we were just ill-informed. We just did not understand that yes, there was a visual novel, yes, there was a older anime, the Dean anime. I'm not sure why we didn't start with the Dean anime, but I guess it is what it is. But eventually, as Unlimited Blade Works was about to come out, like a couple of weeks before it was going to come out, we decided, me and my brother decided, you know what, let's just push through with Fate Zero, see if we're going to be able to get into it by the end of it, and then transition over to Unlimited Blade Works when that comes out. And obviously the rest is history, because clearly at some point we did get into Fate Zero. We were invested in the characters, And then we did watch Unlimited Blade Works, and now, you know, again, the rest is history. As you can see, I'm into pretty much everything. I got Arkwid here, you know, Type Moon fan, not just a Fate fan. You know, I read Tsukihime, read Mihoyo, read a lot of the more obscure Type Moon works, Tsukino Sango, for example, one of my favorites personally. And clearly I run a channel that's predominantly Fate Grand Order related, so yeah, pretty deep into Fate, pretty deep into Type Moon, I would say. But I know my start with Fate Zero is no matter what, people are gonna look down on me just because of that, but it is what it is. I like how this video is supposed to be about the Fate 20th anniversary showcase, but I just rambled about like my backstory with Fate. But I just felt like it's important for you guys to understand my background as a Fate fan, because everybody's different, and that's why I want to hear you guys' experience, how you guys started with the Fate series. But anyway, the Fate 20th anniversary showcase. What did I think about it? Right off the jump, and I said this even before, you know, getting my ticket, before going to the event, I did find it odd that it's a 20th anniversary, right? It's supposed to be a big deal. Anything that's 20th anniversary, 10th anniversary, 15th anniversary, whatever, it's supposed to be a big deal. It's supposed to be advertised as a big deal. So you would think they would have gotten a bigger venue for the 20th anniversary showcase event, especially with the 3 original voice actresses for the 3 main heroines of Fate Stay Night. You would think with them coming in, and as well as other guests, that the venue would be a lot bigger, maybe a lot more prestigious, maybe have it be a paid event as opposed to a free event. Again, you would think it would be a bigger venue. For those of you guys who went, then you guys already know that it was kind of like an auditorium, I guess you could call it. It was a very small room. It's like a high school auditorium, maybe even like half the size of a high school auditorium. Small venue, it's neither a negative or positive. I guess going into it, it was a bit more of a negative, but after experiencing it, and I guess there is a little bit of bias in there because I was actually there, I could see like the pros and cons to it being a small venue. At least I didn't have to walk around. I guess that's one big positive. I didn't have to walk around from one side of the convention to another side of the convention. Instead, it was just one big room, like not even like multiple stories or anything, just one big room. I guess depending on how you see it, one medium small size room, I guess. And then moving on to the merch. Oh my gosh, the merch is a bit more controversial, just because when they revealed it online, a lot of people were very unhappy and very unsatisfied, even lining up and like looking at the merch. You know, I did hear some murmurs, you know, being in line with other people who were there. A lot of people were not impressed with the merch, and if you have seen it, then you could kind of see what a lot of people are coming from. In fact, I do agree with a lot of people in the sense that it's a Fate 20th anniversary showcase. You know, you would think they would show or bring more merch from other Fates, you know, maybe some Fate Apocrypha merch, maybe because they are advertising and they are also showing the Fate Strange Fake world premiere. You would think they would also show some Fate Strange Fake merch. And of course, celebrating 20 years, maybe some Fate Stay Night merch, Fate Zero merch, Unlimited Blade Works, what have you. But as you could see, it was mainly Fate Grand Order merch, and then like one exclusive Fate 20th anniversary showcase like pins. By the end of the night, when I passed by the merch, the only thing that sold out was the Musashi plushes, which I did buy myself. But other than that, I don't think anything else sold out. I don't think anybody really wanted to carry around figures, which that was my thought process too. Like, even if they did sell like exclusive or rare figures, like depending on the character, of course, like if they sold like Kirei's prize figure, for example, which is like the one figure that I'm still looking for, then yeah, I would have definitely bought that. But otherwise, yeah, pretty underwhelming merch, all things considered. Again, 20th anniversary for Fate, not just Grand Order, not just Fate Stay Night, not just this Fate or that Fate, like the entire Fate series. In my opinion, what they could have done or should have done, depending on how you see it, they should have commissioned like an artist. They don't have to get like Takeuchi or something. His, you know, schedule must be like busy or something, but they could have commissioned somebody like Namie, for example. Namie has been doing like the Fate Grand Order anniversary art pieces for the past couple of years now, so it's within their power to commission artists to, you know, create some kind of commemorative art. They could have commissioned artists to make something for the 20th anniversary showcase, just so we could get something like super exclusive, maybe like a wall scroll or a poster, because obviously with the Musashi plush, that was something that they released over at Anime NYC. And then pretty much the rest of the merch, aside from like the pins, were stuff that you could find at online at like AmiAmi or Aniplex shop online or Crunchyroll online or whatever. All that to say, basically there was like nothing really exclusive besides the pins, which again, you would think 20th anniversary they would, you know, give us something more. So I do agree that, yeah, the merch was underwhelming. They could have done something, commissioned artists, whatever. At the same time, you know, just to play devil's advocate, I'm not trying to defend Aniplex. Let me get that clear, because I got into like a argument online with somebody on Twitter just because they thought I was like defending Aniplex when I said off the jump that I did find it weird and interesting that they didn't show other Fate stuff. But Aniplex is a business. A lot of people give them flack for being money hungry and whatnot. And again, in the end of the day, they're a business, and businesses are all about making money. And if you're going to be selling merch at a small venue, no matter what it's about, and you know that a lot of fans are Fate Grand Order fans, a lot of modern fans are Fate Grand Order fans, then yeah, it makes sense for them to sell Fate Grand Order stuff predominantly. Because like I said earlier, even though I brought up Fate Apocrypha, like if they brought Fate Apocrypha merch, for example, like if they were selling, I don't know, a Semiramis rubber strap or something, like would that have sold? Like, let's be honest, like I love Semiramis, I think she's underrated. I think Fate Apocrypha gets a lot of unnecessary hate in my opinion. But if you're a business, are you going to be selling Fate Grand Order merch, which are almost guaranteed to get profit, or are you going to sell Fate Apocrypha Semiramis rubber straps? Like, let's be real. So they probably saw the venue, it's small, they don't want to bring too much stuff, so what are going to be guaranteed things to sell? Fate Grand Order stuff, because whether you like it or not, Fate Grand Order is at the moment the biggest and most profitable Fate IP that they have, as well as one of the most profitable series in general that Aniplex has to offer. So of course they're gonna sell predominantly Fate Grand Order stuff. That's how I see it. Again, I do understand and I do agree that they should have at least some exclusive stuff, at least commissioned an artist for some kind of Fate 20th anniversary art piece, or at least sold some Fate Strange fake stuff, just because it's the newest Fate anime installment. You know, they could have done something. But at the same time, I do get the perspective, you know, small venues, small merch, they got to bring stuff that's gonna guarantee them profit, especially since the tickets were free, so they gotta make their money back somehow. So I do get it, but I get both sides at the same time. Regardless of your perspective, I think most people would agree that the merch was probably the weakest part of the entire event. But like I said online, the main things that I was looking forward to with the event were the panels, the autographs, and of course the world premiere of Fate Strange Fake. And I think as far as those three things are concerned, I think they absolutely killed it. I mean, a panel with the 3 seiyus obviously hard carried the entire panel list, I guess you could say. And then on top of that, you have the panel with the producers for both the English dub and the Japanese. So it was interesting to see and hear both of their perspectives, as well as, of course, my personal favorite panel, of course, because I'm so biased with Gilgamesh and Strange Fake. The third panel being with the 2 directors of Fate Strange Fake, the character designer for the anime of Fate Strange Fake, as well as the voice actor of Saber, Yuki Ono. Super hilarious throughout the panel. The chemistry between all 4 of them, actually, all 4 of the guests for that panel, was funny to watch. And I'm sure, I'm pretty sure you guys could rewatch that entire live stream, because they did stream the panels, if I'm not mistaken, and you guys could rewatch those for yourself if you haven't already. So again, as far as the panels went, totally enjoyed all of them. Speaking of the panels, each of them were followed by a corresponding autograph session. So if you wanted to get the 3 voice actresses' autographs, then you would have to have gotten a blue wristband, which they were giving out in line, and it was like 100, I guess, in total wristbands, if I'm not mistaken, for each guest autograph session. And even though I was in front of the line, or front-ish of the line, I decided not to get the 3 seiyus, which might sound ridiculous. I know some people might be like, why would you not get the 3 main heroines of Fate? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you had the chance, that you had one job. I get it. I understand. As a Fate fan, I totally get it. Most Fate fans, if not all Fate fans, would prioritize the 3 main seiyus. And the only reason why I didn't choose them, and trust me, I would have gotten all their autographs if I had the choice of getting more than one autograph session, but the reason why I prioritize the Fate Strange Fake wristband, which is this red wristband right here that says Fate Strange Fake World Premiere Autograph, is because over the past couple of months, I don't know if you guys follow me on social media or whatever, but over the past couple of months, I was able to acquire a couple of autographs that I think would just make more sense with the Strange Fake autographs. So over this past Anime Expo, I was able to get David Vincent's autograph. I have him autographed right here. It says "To the number one mongrel," and his signature's right here. I was able to get David Vincent's autograph, who is the English dub voice actor for Gilgamesh. And then not even a month later, I won the Japanese voice actor for Gilgamesh, Seki Tomokazu's autograph, thanks to the Fate Samurai Remnant giveaway that they were doing online. So I got both the dub and the sub of Gilgamesh. They're both their autographs within the span of a month. And in my opinion, I think given my collection, because even though it is a Fate collection, in the end of the day, it's a Gilgamesh collection. It's predominantly Gilgamesh. It has some Enkidu here and there, some Tiamat, of course, some Ozzy here and there, but for the most part, it is a Gilgamesh collection. And I thought, because Strange Fake is my overall favorite Fate series, I just thought it would make the most sense to get both the directors. These are the two directors' autograph, as well as the character designer, and then Yuki Ono, who's like Saber's voice actor, Japanese voice actor, I should say. So I don't know. I thought it made more sense for me as a Gilgamesh fan, because in the end of the day, whether you agree with me or not, I am a Gilgamesh fan first and foremost before a Fate fan. Meaning to say that I'm gonna prioritize whatever makes sense to me as a Gilgamesh fan over a Fate fan. Yes, I would have loved to get the three voice actresses' autograph. I'm sure most people would go. Like I said, every Fate fan would. And the Fate fan in me still has that inner conflict. Like, damn, you probably should have got that, bro. But I already have Ayako Kawasumi's autograph, for example. Like, I already have Saber's, Arturia's autograph already. It's already hung up on my wall up there. I already have Rin's voice actress's autograph. The only one I'm missing is Sakura's voice actress, who I guess at this point is the rarest one, because I don't think she really does that many out of Japan overseas autograph sessions or like appearances in general. So at that point, it was like, if I did pick them, I'm really only going for Sakura's autograph, which I'm sure some people would have still prioritized that. In the end of the day, you are getting all three in an exclusive event with an exclusive like Shikishi board. But again, I just followed my heart at that point. Like, as a Gilgamesh fan, as a Strange Fake fan, which one made the most sense for my collection? Again, if I could have gotten both, I would have just gotten both. But the Gilgamesh fan in me outweighs the Fate fan in me in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's why I picked the Strange Fake directors and the character designer, as well as Yuki Ono's autograph. So Yuki Ono, by the way, who voices Saber, I'm calling it right now. This coming New Year's for JP, I think he's gonna be the New Year's servant personally, just because if you're unaware, the Fate Strange Fake episode that came out at the world premiere was the dub. The one that you could only watch at the moment, at the time of recording this, is the dub episode. And the sub version, the Japanese dub, if you will, is going to be released in December 31st, which is, of course, New Year's Eve. What follows New Year's Eve, oh, you might be asking, is New Year's. And what comes out in New Year's? Oh, the Servant, the Fate Grand Order New Year's Servant. So, I wonder who they're going to release for this coming Fate Grand Order New Year's Servant in JP. In my opinion, it would make sense. You know, the episode comes out, the Japanese episode comes out, so why not release Saber from Strange Fake over there in Grand Order? I think, again, would make the most sense, but we'll see. Speaking of Strange Fake, the first episode, the world premiere, even though I do prefer Japanese over English when it comes to anime, 9 times out of 10, I do find the English dub for Fate Strange Fake to be very enjoyable. So yes, while I will be watching Fate Strange Fake predominantly in Japanese, I will be rewatching the episodes in English. And if the English comes out first, I really don't mind, because again, the English to me has been very good so far, especially at Caster's performance. Caster's performance in Whispers of Dawn was already a 10 out of 10, but definitely knocked it out of the park again with the first episode with the world premiere, especially the scene with him, which is like the only scene with him in this episode, the scene with him eating Inside Out Burger, which if you guys are familiar with California, which if you did not know is where I live, then you know that Inside Out Burger is a reference to In-N-Out Burger, which is like a big burger chain here in the West Coast. And I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure that was not in the manga. I don't think the In and Out reference was there. So it's cool to see little Easter eggs that only Californians, only Americans would appreciate, because again, it's a Fate series that takes place in like a fictional city, but it takes place in California. So it's nice to see that the directors did their research, you know, that they did incorporate certain elements of California that only Californians would know. And if you guys saw my original review of Whispers of Dawn, then you know I absolutely love the animation. I absolutely love the art style for Fate Strange Fate. And this episode was no exception. I think in a lot of ways it looked even better than Whispers of Dawn, at least in my opinion. Granted, they had over a year and a half to polish it up, but still, you know, progress is progress nonetheless. All I could hope is that the quality doesn't drop at some point, because that's like the worst thing with anime, right? When it starts off really strong, the animation is top notch, and then like towards the end with like big fight scenes that a lot of people were looking forward to, it just drops off in terms of quality. I hope that doesn't happen, because I know that was like a big thing with like Nanatsu no Taizai, for example. I think Jujutsu Kaisen with MAPPA with like their latest season or something, but I hope that's not the case with Fate Strange Fate. At the same time though, they're like releasing one episode every year, which is probably my one and only big complaint when it comes to Strange Fate. It's like, damn, can you release just like the entire thing? Like, I know I'm generally a patient guy when it comes to these things. You know, I've been waiting for a Strange Fate like animation or Fate Strange Fate anything since like what, 2015, 2016. So to get it animated today is a dream come true, obviously, but man, I wish they would release the episodes more frequently, you know? Even though the first episode is coming out at the end of the year, they didn't really confirm that it was going to be continuing as like a winter season anime or anything like that. So I hope it does. And if it doesn't, then damn, I guess we got to wait another year for another episode. Man, I can't wait. Because there's certain scenes, certain interactions that I'm really looking forward to. And it's ironic too, as a big Gilgamesh fan, Gilgamesh was not featured really at all in this episode. Like, he's shown like once in like the first like 3 minutes of the episode, but then like it's just like one still frame, no lines, nothing. And even though Gilgamesh didn't have a big presence in this episode, in my opinion, this was one of the funner episodes of Fate in general, not just Strange Fate, which is 2 episodes out, but it was genuinely one of the funniest and funnest experiences I've ever had with a Fate episode. Not only as a Californian and understanding and recognizing a lot of the references, but also especially towards the end with like Saber when he was summoned and then he gets apprehended by the police and whatnot. Seeing that whole thing play out, that was just comedy gold. And that's what makes Strange Fate stand out from a lot of other Fates, I think, is they break the mold with a lot of traditional Fate, I guess you could say, stereotypes, a lot of traditional Fate tropes that you might expect. And like I said in my original review of Whispers of Dawn, name another Fate, right? Name another Fate where the servants, who for all intents and purposes are supposed to be very secretive about their true name, supposed to be secretive about their noble phantasm, because obviously that's going to give intel to the enemies on how to defeat them, how to counter them. In Strange Fate, bro, Gilgamesh and Enkidu just show their shit right off the jump. No fucks given. They don't care if they're being watched. They don't care who's in the side, who's watching them from afar. They just care about their friend in front of them, Gilgamesh or Enkidu respectively, right? And they just show their noble phantasm, scream it out for the world to hear, unleash it out for the world to see. It's something that you don't really see with other Fates. And the same thing happens with this episode, because Saber just releases Excalibur, which I know a lot of people are wondering, like, wait, he's not King Arthur though, so why does he have Excalibur? Especially if you haven't seen Strange Fate, or not seen, but read the Strange Fate manga or a light novel, then I'm sure you're wondering, like, why does he have Excalibur? What's going on there? But he uses Excalibur, destroys an opera house, and rather than being low-key about it, he allows himself to be apprehended by the police and then proceeds to have this entire speech of how he destroyed the opera house and how he apologizes profusely. And again, comedy gold, because if you understand the Fate dynamics and like how servants are supposed to behave and be a lot more incognito and a lot more secretive with their identity and whatnot, and definitely concealing the existence of magecraft or magic in general in the Fate universe and why that's such a big deal. It's crazy that Saber just did not give a fuck, or he just had no idea that it's such a big deal, and just reveals it to the world like, yeah, I destroyed this building. Man, that last 5 minutes, comedy gold. Comedy gold. So if it wasn't obvious with my whole rambling, I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode of Strange Fake, and I can't wait for the next episode, which is probably gonna come out another year. God damn it, just release it already. Give us a release date. At least give us a release date. Aniplex, please give us a release date. Holy shit, because I'm having some of the most fun with Fate Strange Fake, and that's probably, if I were to give it one word that makes it stand above the rest of the Fates for me, it's fun. It's the most fun that I've had with a Fate series ever. It genuinely is, and it's only 2 episodes in, so imagine the rest of the episodes, imagine the rest of the series, and how crazy it is. Holy crap. So I guess it should also go without saying that I did enjoy my Fate 20th anniversary showcase experience. Again, was the merch lackluster? Yeah. Was the room a tad bit small for a event that you might think is a much bigger deal? Yeah, of course, I do think so. Do I think the way they were selling tickets and how there was only 300 tickets in total apparently, how I think that's kind of, you know, a little bit whack? Yeah, I could understand that perspective as well, but was it worth it? Yeah. Especially driving 1 a.m. in the morning, driving over there, and then eating at Denny's at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and then I ran into Albert and Aniplex Co. just randomly. They entered the Denny's and they were like, "Oh, I recognize you," and I was like, "Oh shit, Albert, how you doing?" Like, it was a crazy experience, from top to bottom, bro. Like, oh my gosh. And of course, shout out to the people I was hanging out with. Unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of you guys' names, nor will I reveal the names here, because I don't know if you guys want your names out there. But shout out to those people. I don't know if you guys are watching right now. And of course, shout out to the one guy who, again, not gonna reveal his name, but originally, I'm sure some of you guys might remember, I didn't get a ticket to this event. Originally, I tried to get a ticket, but I was unable to do so. But somebody reached out, somebody who didn't even know I had a channel or whatever, which it's not like I expect people to know that I have a channel, but, you know, just put that information out there so people are not like, oh, a subscriber gave you a ticket. Of course. No, this guy, just out of the goodness of his heart, just saw me sad as fuck, mad as fuck on Twitter, and DM'd me an extra ticket. So very grateful to him, and I hope to hang out with him again in the future. He knows how grateful I am. I was like thanking him up and down throughout the event, and he was like, "No, yeah, no problem, bro, no problem." And I don't know, it's just one of those things where like you don't expect those acts of kindness just randomly, especially like from random people online. But, you know, I guess lesson learned, you know, there are people out there who are genuinely nice people. Like, he didn't ask for any money. He didn't ask for a shout out or anything. Again, he didn't even know who I was. He didn't ask for anything back. I offered him food. I offered him breakfast. I offered him even dinner, and he was like, "Nah, bro, like, it's okay, it's okay." So yeah, pretty good time. All the fans there were very hype. When certain scenes would pop up, people were cheering, people were going crazy. There was somebody who had like a glow stick, a light stick out in the front row. It was very funny to watch, very funny to hear. Overall, great experience, and I hope everybody that went also had a great experience. I hope everybody that watched, who were unable to go, also had a fun experience. And I hope the 25th anniversary 5 years from now is gonna be an even bigger event. I can't wait. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much wrap it up. Like the video if you like it, comment down below and let me know what you think about any of the number things I talked about. Like, how did you get into Fate? What did you think about the Fate 20th anniversary showcase, whether or not you did go? What did you think about the Fate Strange Fake first episode? Was it hype? Did you have fun? Did you think it was funny? Did you think it was boring? Did you think UFO Table should have animated it? You know, the usual comments about UFO Table, whatever. And yeah, I'm pretty sure there are some things that I haven't talked about that I'm probably going to include in the comments. I don't know, so watch out for that comment. But overall, great experience, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.